You probably think you know vitamin D, right? I mean, it's the sunshine vitamin, it's good for your bones, pretty straightforward stuff. But what if I told you that behind that sunny reputation, there's a much more complicated and even dangerous side to the story? Yeah, let's get into it. So here's the big puzzle we're going to tackle. If we get this stuff from the sun, that giant free source in the sky, why are so many of us walking around deficient? It seems like a simple question, but trust me, the answer is anything but.
To really get to the bottom of this paradox, we've got to rewind the clock a bit, because our whole relationship with vitamin D has gone from being this miracle cure for a mysterious disease to fueling a billion-dollar wellness obsession.
I mean, just look at this journey. It starts way back in the 1650s, with doctors noticing that kids in smoggy, sunless cities had these awful skeletal problems. Flash forward to the 1930s, and we figure out that just adding vitamin D to milk completely wipes out rickets in the US. And now it's a massive $1.1 billion industry. That is a wild ride, from a medical fix to a modern wellness staple.
So you'd think we'd have this all figured out by now, right? Rickets is basically gone. But the vitamin D problem? Oh, it's far from solved. For millions of us, getting enough is still a huge challenge. Let's just look at the hard numbers for a second. This data shows that a full quarter of the US population isn't getting enough vitamin D. You've got 20% who are at risk and another 5% who are straight up deficient. That's a huge chunk of the population not hitting the mark. So what's going on? And right here, this chart kind of says it all. Unless you happen to love taking spoonfuls of cod liver oil, and I mean, who does? It is really hard to get enough vitamin D from food. A nice piece of salmon gets you most of the way there, sure, but look at the everyday stuff. Milk, eggs, cheese, you'd have to eat a ridiculous amount to even get close. So for most of us, diet alone just isn't going to cut. So what's the magic number we're supposed to be aiming for anyway? Well, health experts say that adults need a minimum of 600 international units, or IUs, every day. And when you think back to that food chart we just saw, you can really see how big the gap is between what's in our food and what our bodies actually need.
Which brings us to the two big solutions most people turn to. You either look up to the sky or you look inside a bottle. And listen, both of these work, but they each come with their own set of pros and cons you absolutely need to know about.
Okay, let's break it down. The sun, our main natural source, is amazing because your body has this brilliant built-in off switch. It knows when you've had enough and just stops making vitamin D. The huge, obvious downside? Skin cancer. No surprise there. Supplements, on the other hand, are an easy way to get your levels up. But, and this is a big but, they don't have that off switch. It's totally possible to overdo it.
Now, if you do decide to go the supplement route, you're going to walk into the pharmacy and see two main options on the shelf, D2 and D3. And you might think, D is D, but actually the difference between these two is a really big deal. So what are we talking about here? It's pretty simple, really. Vitamin D2, that comes from plants and fungi, like mushrooms. But vitamin D3, well, that's the good stuff our own skin makes when we're in the sun. It's also the kind you find in animal-based foods. And that source code, plant versus animal, makes all the difference in how our bodies use it. So the big question, is one of them actually better? And the research here is crystal clear. Yes, absolutely. Vitamin D2 just doesn't stick around in your system as long. Because of that, D3 is way more effective, and not only raising your vitamin D levels, but, and this is the important part, keeping them up.
How much more effective are we talking? Get this, one study found that D3 is a whopping 87% more potent than D2 at raising and maintaining your levels. That isn't just a little better, that's a total knockout. It pretty much makes D3 the hands-down winner if you're looking to supplement.
All right, and this is where our story takes a pretty sharp turn. Because with these super potent D3 supplements being so easy to get, we stumble into a very real and very serious problem, the danger of getting way too much of a good thing. So, the number one danger from a vitamin D overdose is a nasty condition called hypercalcaemia. Basically, all that extra vitamin D makes your body absorb way too much calcium and your blood calcium levels go through the roof. And we're not talking about a little upset stomach here. This can cause confusion, severe nausea, and even permanent damage to your kidneys and heart. It's serious stuff. Now, let's be absolutely 100% clear on this. You cannot, I repeat, cannot get vitamin D poisoning from the sun. Your body is way too smart for that. Once it's made enough, it just shuts down the factory. The risk comes entirely from one place, taking too many high-dose supplements.
And hey, this isn't just some theoretical what if. This really happened. In Denmark, a simple manufacturing mistake led to a baby supplement being made with 75 times the proper dose. So you had all these parents thinking they were doing the best thing for their kids, unknowingly giving them massive overdoses every single day. It's a terrifying reminder of how a tiny error can spiral into a huge medical crisis.
And it's not just factory mistakes either. Check out this case. An 80-year-old man was given a prescription for a super high-dose pill that he was supposed to take just once a week, but somewhere along the line he got confused and started taking it every day with his other meds. That simple mix-up landed him in the hospital with life-threatening toxicity. It just goes to show how careful you have to be. Okay, so this all sounds a little scary, right? How are we supposed to get what we need without tipping over into the danger zone? Well, the good news is health experts have given us some really clear guidelines to follow. This chart makes it super simple. What you need every day for basic health is down here, around 400 IU. But the official, safe upper limit, the point you really shouldn't cross, is way up at 4,000 IU. The key thing to see here is that there's a huge, safe runway between what you need and what's actually dangerous. The problems really only start when people consistently blast past that 4,000 IU ceiling.
Okay, let's wrap this all up with a quick cheat sheet. Here's what you need to remember. 1. Trying to get enough vitamin D from food alone is probably not going to work. 2. You can chill out about the sun. Your body won't let you overdose. 3. If you're buying supplements, D3 is the way to go. 4. The real danger of toxicity comes from high-dose pills. And finally, the most important one, stick below that 4,000 IU daily limit unless a doctor tells you otherwise, and please, for the love of everything, read the label.
And that really brings us to the final thought. The story of vitamin D is all about balance. It's absolutely essential, no doubt, but it's powerful, and you have to respect it. So the question I want to leave you with is pretty simple. When it comes to your own routine, are you sure you're getting that balance right? Thanks for tuning in.